Namaste to everyone. I welcome you all in my YouTube video channel. Today I will deliver lecture on vector space. Lecture number 2, part 2, in which I will discuss on some examples and problems on vector space. Now we solve problem number 3. Let V is the set of all convergent sequence. This generalized term of the sequence V alpha n of real numbers. So that V is a vector space over R. Now we solve this. Solution. Firstly, we define addition and scalar multiplication as follows. Let alpha equal to a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n, beta is another sequence whose generalized term is beta n, be two convergent sequence. Then the first sequence generalized term is alpha n plus second sequence whose generalized term is beta n equal to a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n plus beta n. A multiplied by a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n equal to a sequence whose generalized term is A alpha n. A belongs to R. R means set of real numbers. Now let alpha equal to a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n, beta equal to a sequence whose generalized term is beta n, gamma is another sequence whose generalized term is gamma n, be three convergent sequences. They belong to V, that is alpha, beta, gamma belongs to V. We have to prove that V is a vector space over the set of real numbers. For this, number 1. Firstly, we have to show V plus is an abelian group. Number 1. Alpha plus beta. Alpha be a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n, and beta be another sequence whose generalized term is beta n. We have already defined this. Addition of this is a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n plus beta n. Therefore, this belongs to V because addition of two convergent sequence is a convergent sequence. Therefore, closure law holds in V. Number 2, alpha plus under bracket beta plus gamma equal to, for alpha we write a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n, under bracket. For beta we write a sequence whose generalized term is beta n. For gamma we write a sequence whose generalized term is gamma n. Firstly, we add these two sequences. Is a sequence whose generalized term is beta n plus gamma n. Now we add two sequences. We get generalized term alpha n plus under bracket beta n plus gamma n. Since alpha n, beta n, gamma n all are real numbers and real number is associative, therefore we may write under bracket alpha n plus beta n plus gamma n, and we may write this as sum of two sequences the generalized term of the first sequence is alpha n plus beta n, and generalized term of second sequence is gamma n. We may also write this sequence as a sum of two sequences. First sequence is whose generalized term is alpha n, and second sequence is whose generalized term is beta n plus gamma n. This sequence means alpha, this sequence means beta under bracket plus gamma. Therefore, we get alpha plus under bracket beta plus gamma equal to under bracket alpha plus beta plus gamma. Therefore, associative law holds in V. Number 3. Let a sequence 0 whose elements are real number 0, 0, 0, dot, dot, dot. This sequence belong to V because it converges to real number 0. Now, 0 sequence plus alpha equal to the sequences whose elements are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 plus for alpha we write elements alpha 1 comma alpha 2 dot 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 comma alpha n comma dot dot dot. We add these 0 plus alpha 1, 0 plus alpha 2 comma dot 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 0 plus alpha n comma comma. This means the sequence containing elements alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n. In generalized form we write the sequence containing generalized term alpha n, and this is equal to alpha. That is 0 plus alpha equal to alpha. Similarly, alpha plus 0 equal to alpha. Therefore, 0 plus alpha equal to alpha plus 0 equal to alpha. Therefore, 0 is the identity element in V. Number 4. For each sequence alpha equal to a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n, there exists minus alpha equal to a sequence whose generalized term is minus alpha n, such that alpha plus minus alpha equal to alpha means a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n minus alpha means a sequence whose generalized term is minus alpha n equal to alpha n minus alpha n equal to a sequence whose generalized term is 0. That is 0 sequence. There similarly minus alpha plus alpha equal to 0 sequence. Therefore, for each sequence additive inverse exists. Number 5. Alpha plus beta equal to alpha, a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n, beta, a sequence whose generalized term is beta n, and we give here plus sign, equal to a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n plus beta n. Since alpha n and beta n are real numbers and real number is commutative, therefore alpha n plus beta n equal to beta n plus alpha n. We may write this as a sequence whose generalized term is beta n plus second sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. This sequence means beta plus this sequence means alpha. Therefore, alpha plus beta equal to beta plus alpha. Therefore, V is commutative. From 1 to 5, we get that V plus is an abelian group. Next, number 2. Let A belongs to R. R is the set of real numbers and alpha is a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. And this is a convergent sequence belong to V. If this sequence is convergent, therefore a sequence whose generalized term is A alpha n is also a convergent sequence. Therefore, A alpha equal to A, the sequence whose generalized term is alpha n, equal to a sequence whose generalized term is A alpha n, and this is a convergent sequence, that means that belong to V. Number 3. Number 1. A alpha plus beta. A is a real number and alpha is a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. Beta is another sequence whose generalized term is beta n. Equal to A, this addition of two sequence is a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n plus beta n. This means a sequence whose generalized term is A alpha n plus A beta n. We may separate this into sum of two sequences. First sequence whose generalized term is A alpha n, second sequence whose generalized term is A beta n. This means A multiplied by a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n plus A multiplied by a sequence whose generalized term is beta n. This sequence means alpha, this sequence means beta. Therefore, A alpha plus beta equal to A alpha plus A beta. Number 2. A and B be two real numbers. Here A under bracket A plus B alpha. This alpha means a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. This means a sequence whose generalized term is A plus B alpha n. Since A, B, alpha n all are real numbers, therefore distributive law holds, means we get A alpha n plus B alpha n. We separate these into two sequences. Here A alpha n plus a sequence whose generalized term is B alpha n. This means A sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. Here B, a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. That means A alpha plus B alpha. Number 3. A, B are real numbers and A, B under bracket alpha. Here alpha means a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. We may write this as a sequence whose generalized term is AB alpha n. Since AB alpha n all are real numbers and real number is associative, therefore we may write A under bracket B alpha n. We may take A outside. Here we get B alpha n. This means a sequence and whose generalized term is B alpha n. We may write this B a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. Here we write A, here B, and for this sequence we write alpha. Number 4. 1 multiplied by alpha. Alpha is a sequence whose generalized term is alpha n. This means a sequence whose generalized term is 1 into alpha n. 1 and alpha n both are real numbers, so we get here only alpha n. And this sequence means alpha. From 1, 2 and 3 we get that V is a vector space over the set of real numbers. Now we solve problem number 4. If P is a prime, then show that Zp to the power n is a vector space over Zp. Now we solve this solution. Zp equal to a set containing elements 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 p minus 1. That means the elements of Zp are derived from the concept of remainders. If we divide any number by p, we may get remainder either 0, means if that number is divisible by p, or remainder 1 or remainder 2, up to we may get remainder p minus 1. We may not get remainder more than p. So this set is the collection of remainders. When we divide any number, means numbers, by p. For example, let we talk about Z3. If we divide 1 by 3, then we get remainder 1. If we divide 2 by 3, we get remainder 2. If we divide 3 by 3, then we get remainder 0. If we divide 4 by 3, then we get remainder 1. If we divide 5 by 3, we get remainder 2. If we divide 6 by 3, we get remainder 0. If we divide 7 by 3, we get remainder 1. Ultimately, we are getting remainders 0, 1 and 2. Not 3, not 4, not anything. Similarly, Zp. Here, collection of remainders 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 p minus 1. We know that Zp is a field with respect to addition and multiplication as follows. Addition of two members of Zp. Let A and B be two members of Zp. Then A plus B equal to A plus B if A plus B less than P. And if A plus B is greater than equal to P, then we divide A plus B by P, then we get remainder R. In this way, we may find the addition of two members of Zp. Here R is the least non-negative remainder when A plus B is divided by B. Again, A multiplied by B equal to A multiplied by B if A multiplied by B is less than P. When AB is greater than equal to P, then we divide AB by P, and if remainder is R1, then we write R1. That is, R1 is the remainder when ordinary product AB is divided by P. Now, we talk about Zp to the power n, means Cartesian product of Zp to n times. Each element of this set will be of ordered n tuple a1, a2, comma an, where each ai belongs to zp. Let alpha, beta, gamma belong to zp to the power n. Then alpha belongs to zp to the power n means the structure of alpha will be ordered n tuple. We write this as ordered n tuple a1, a2, an. Similarly, beta equal to ordered n tuple b1, b2, bn. Gamma is another ordered n tuple containing c1, c2, cn, where each ai, bi, ci belong to zp. Now we define vector addition and scalar multiplication as follows. If alpha and beta belong to zp to the power n, then alpha plus beta will be a1 plus b1, a2 plus b2, an plus bn. And a alpha will be a alpha means ordered n tuple a1, a2, an, that is a1, a2, an. Number 1. Now to show zp to the power n with composition plus is an abelian group. If ai and bi belongs to zp, then from 1 we have seen that ai plus bi belongs to zp. Therefore, alpha beta belongs to zp to the power n implies that alpha plus beta equal to ordered n tuple containing a1 plus b1, a2 plus b2, an plus bn. Each element belongs to zp. Therefore, this ordered n tuple belong to zp to the power n. Hence, alpha plus beta belong to zp to the power n. Therefore, closure law holds. Number 2. Alpha plus under bracket beta plus gamma. Alpha, beta, gamma all belong to zp to the power n. Alpha means ordered n tuple a1, a2, an under bracket. Beta is ordered n tuple containing b1, b2, bn plus gamma is another ordered n tuple containing c1, c2, cn. Firstly, we add these ordered n tuple and we get b1 plus c1, b2 plus c2, bn plus cn. This is equal to a1 plus under bracket b1 plus c1, a2 plus under bracket b2 plus c2, an plus under bracket bn plus cn, and ordered n tuple. Since a1, b1, c1 all are real numbers and real numbers is associative, therefore we may write under bracket a1 plus b1 plus c1. Similarly, we apply associative law with these components. We may separate this into two n tuples First tuple contains a1 plus b1, comma a2 plus b2, comma dot 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 an plus bn. In second tuple plus c1, comma c2, comma dot 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 cn. Now we divide these n tuples in two n tuples. First n tuple contains a1, comma a2, comma an plus second n tuple contains b1, comma b2, comma bn plus this. This means alpha. This means beta. Under bracket alpha plus beta. And plus this means gamma. Here we get alpha plus under bracket beta plus gamma equal to under bracket alpha plus beta plus gamma. Therefore associative law holds. Number 3, alpha plus beta. Alpha is written as n tuple a1, a2, an. Each ai belongs to zp. Similarly, beta is written as n tuple b1, comma b2, comma bn. Each bi is an element of zp. And alpha belongs to zp to the power n, beta belongs to zp to the power n. This sum equal to a1 plus b1, comma a2 plus b2, comma dot 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 an plus bn ordered n tuple. Since a1 and b1 are real numbers and real numbers is commutative, therefore a1 plus b1 equal to b1 plus a1. Similarly, a2 plus b2 equal to b2 plus a2. an plus bn equal to bn plus an. We separate these two into two n tuples. First contains elements b1, comma b2, comma bn, and second a1, comma a2, comma an. This n tuples is beta, this n tuples is alpha. Therefore alpha plus beta equal to beta plus alpha. Hence commutative law holds. Since real number 0 belongs to zp, means remainder 0, and 0, 0, this n tuple belong to zp to the power n. We call this by 0. Now alpha plus 0. Alpha is n tuple a1, comma a2, comma an. Each ai belongs to zp. And this 0 means ordered n tuple 0, 0, we add this a1 plus 0, comma a2 plus 0, dot 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 an plus 0. That means ordered n tuple a1, comma a2, comma dot 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 an, and this equal to alpha. Therefore alpha plus 0 equal to alpha. Similarly 0 plus alpha equal to alpha. That is alpha plus 0 equal to 0 plus alpha equal to alpha. Therefore this 0 ordered n tuple containing each element 0 is the identity element of zp to the power n. Number 5. Let alpha equal to ordered n tuple a1, a2, dot 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 comma an. Each ai is a member of zp. Therefore this n tuple belongs to zp to the power n. And there exists alpha inverse. We write this symbol equal to ordered n tuple x1, x2, dot 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 comma xn, such that ai plus xi equal to 0. This means when ai plus xi is divided by p, we get remainder 0. For example, let p equal to 3. That means we are considering the case for Z3. Z3. Z3 contains elements 0, 1, 2. Now, we are speaking about Z3 power 3, means value of n is also 3 and value of p is also 3. Then we get each member of Z3 cube as order triplet. Let alpha be a member of Z3 power 3, means alpha will be in the form of order triplet. Let alpha equal to 0, 1, 2 order triplet, and alpha inverse equal to order triplet containing elements 0, 2, 1. If we add alpha plus alpha inverse here, that means 0 plus 0, here 1 plus 2, here 2 plus 1. 1 plus 2 means 3. When this 3 is divided by 3, it leaves remainder 0. That means 1 plus 2 equal to 0. Here 2 plus 1, this is also 3. And if we divide this 3 with 3, 3 means value of p is 3. Then we get remainder 0. That means here we get alpha plus alpha inverse equal to 0, 0, 0 order triplet. Therefore, alpha inverse is the additive inverse of alpha. So, we get additive inverse in ZP to the power n. Number 2, let A be a real number and alpha belongs to ZP to the power n. Then A alpha equal to A ordered tuple A1, A2, An. This equal to AA1, AA2, An. Each member belongs to ZP. Therefore, this ordered tuple belongs to ZP to the power n. Number 3. 1. Let A and B are real numbers. Then under bracket A plus B alpha. Alpha means ordered tuple A1, A2, An, where each AI belongs to ZP. We may get this A plus B A1, A plus B A2, A plus B An ordered tuple. And we may get by distributive law AA1 plus BA1, AA2 plus BA2, An plus Ban equal to AA1, AA2, Aan ordered tuple plus BA1, BA2, Ban. We may write this as A outside. Here we may take B outside. This is alpha. That means A alpha plus B alpha. Number 2. A alpha plus beta. Alpha is ordered tuple this and beta is ordered tuple this. Each member of the tuple belongs to ZP and ordered tuple belongs to ZP to the power n. we may write this equal to A. We add these two ordered n tuple in this way. And we multiply with A with each member of this ordered n tuple. Since A, A1, B1 all are real numbers, therefore by distributive law A1 plus AB1, here AA2 plus AB2, comma dot 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 AAN plus ABN. We separate these in two ordered n tuple, AA1, comma AA2, comma here, plus ordered n tuple AB1, AB2 and ABN. We take A outside, remains this. Here we take A outside, remains this. This means alpha and this means beta. Therefore, this equal to A alpha plus A beta. That is A under bracket alpha plus beta equal to A alpha plus A beta. Number 3. A, B, alpha. A and B are real numbers. Alpha equal to ordered n tuple A1, A2, An. Each AI belongs to ZP and alpha belongs to ZP to the power n. This equal to AB A1, AB A2, AB An. Since A, B, A1 all are real numbers and associative law holds for this real number, we may write A outside, B A1 under bracket. Similarly, we use associative law in these elements. We take A outside and remains B A1, B A2, B An. We may write this as B under bracket A1, A2 dot 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 An. This is B alpha. Therefore, A under bracket B alpha. That is under bracket AB alpha equal to A under bracket B alpha. Number 4. 1 into alpha. 1 is the unity element of ZP. Therefore, 1 multiply alpha. Alpha is the member of ZP to the power n, and we write this ordered n tuple. Each member of this ordered n tuple belongs to ZP, and we multiply this 1 into A1, 1 into A2, 1 into An. That means ordered n tuple A1, A2, An, that is alpha. Therefore, 1 multiplied by alpha equal to alpha. Therefore, ZP to the power n is a vector space over the field ZP. Thanks for watching my video. If you are satisfied with my presentation and contents, then please click on like button and do subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.